What a shock, a 1-0 defeat to Minnows, North Macedonia. And I've just lost my screen, but it doesn't matter. I could not see that coming. Trev, could you?
I couldn't know.
No way.
And obviously, you look at the players involved. Jorginho won the lot last year. I think one thing you would say is the defensive partnership. The two centre-halves are not the same. Chiellini and he's
they're getting old now, aren't they?
Of course they are. And Mancini and Bastoni went in there and obviously not quite as good. But listen, they held all the play, 65% of possession, 32 shots, 4 on target, 5 shots on target, 16 corners to 0. They should have won the game, weren't clinical and got done by a sucker punch, and it was a Trajkovski.
Right.
92nd
hello.
Hello.
Italy's rivals in the Euros final, England, have already qualified for the World Cup and are back in action tomorrow. They take on the Swiss at Wembley, live on talkSPORT. Ray, you'll be there, won't you?
I'm going, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I've been to Wembley to watch England for a long time.
You're beginning to rival Ali for all the jobs you're doing lately.
No, I'm going out as a fan, England fan. I'm going.
Oh, you liar. You are a liar.
Do you want to come? Do you
I'm with you. I'm
at Portman Road. I can't. No. I'm down. I'm supporting my local team. For those that missed it, would you rather be in England or Italy's position, Ray? On cold commentary for us tomorrow at Wembley is England legend, current West Ham first team coach, Stuart Pearce. Stuart, very good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. How are we?
Morning, Stu.
What, Stu, what a shock that was, surely. And please don't tell me you were giggling.
No, I don't do that, my friend, because I know tomorrow it could be us they're giggling at, So, it was an incredible result, really. The Italians going out, powerhouses of football. And
amazing.
Recently European champions as well. It just goes to show, I think, at times, sometimes when you have a really big achievement, the drop-off can be there for all to see, and certainly Italy have had one of those.
Stu, I've got to ask you, what if you was in that position, would you rather win the Euros and miss a World Cup, or the other way around?
I'd rather win the Euros.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's what I would think as well.
And to be fair, I'm convinced England very soon will win something, and the worry for me will be the drop-off afterwards, That's where I think Gareth will have to earn his money if he does get his hands on, hopefully, the World Cup in November. Then what does the drop-off look like? We've seen it with our players this season in their form, done really well last summer, and a lot of the players that contributed in that maybe have not had as good a seasons as we'd have hoped.
Sure, just with the World Cup Qatar, November, December, I would have thought, and hopefully Wales or Scotland will get there as well, but I'd have thought that was in our interest. It will do us good from a British point of view, that it's not the end of the season when people are fatigued, tired. We're talking about halfway through the season. Would that give us a better chance?
I think so. Yeah, I really do. As I say, you're always in the lap of the gods that your key players are fit and available at the time, but I think the climate will be fine, the timeline where it's at is fine. I went out there a few years ago to do some media work, and at that time of year, and it was absolutely perfect, and it was about 24 degrees, but nothing that isn't too oppressive for European players.
We're doing the commentary tomorrow on the England-Switzerland game, and we both seen Frank Lampard come through at West Ham and go into the England squad and have the career that he had. Are you excited about seeing what the boy Conor Gallagher can do, and do you hope he gets an opportunity tomorrow, Stu?
Yeah, well, put it this way, what Gareth's done, he's put a few youngsters in as well, and I know you've done the brief soundbite there with Walker Peters, and he's one that we've played Southampton a couple of times, he's played left back, he's played right back, just touching him, and if he gets a chance, I think he thoroughly deserves it, but certainly Connor's certainly going to be up for Young Player of the Year this year. He's done fantastically well, and I think the loan move to Palace has been brilliant for him this season, and he's flourished without a doubt. And certainly his energy and enthusiasm that he shows, Trev, I think he won't let himself down, on that stage.
Yeah,
Stu, do you think,
great energy.
Yeah, Stu, do you think that Gareth will look at it and say, right, okay, I might play some different systems during the game? I mean, he's got Ivory Coast on Tuesday as well. Or does he know his best system? with Trent Alexander-Arnold, as Trevor mentioned earlier, he's got to play on that right-hand side, but he's great going forward, puts great deliveries into the box. Do you think he's looking at it and saying, I'm going to go with a 3 at the back, with maybe Kyle Walker when he's fit, with that bit of pace alongside maybe Harry Maguire and another centre-half? What do you think he's thinking during these 2 games?
Well, I think over the 2 games, I think he'll be looking at near enough two different teams in many ways, right? You know, I think he'll do that. He'll mix and match his teams for the 2 games. In regard to systems, a lot of people get hung up on systems. I'm not too fussed about it. I think England can play a 4 or a 3. I think they can do it equally well. It's just the personnel that he's got available at the time and the form that they're showing at the time. And as you say, I think the team themselves can slip into, even during game time, change the system, and it wouldn't be a problem to them. So, listen, Gareth and Steve will know exactly what they want to achieve from these 2 matches, and we've got 4 big ones as well in the summer, which will be fantastic games as well. So a really good building to the back end and the autumn and the World Cup.
You say that, Stu, but, looking at the final, the way we started was superb, and then I think we needed to evolve and put an extra midfielder in there because they were dominating play, and we didn't do that. So you say that we do that and we can slip into different systems, but I thought we lacked that in the final.
Yeah, well, maybe in game time that was the one thing when Gareth looks back and he says, well, maybe an evolution within the game was what they missed out on, Trev. But I think I've turned up at Wembley and seen them play with a 4, with a 3, with an extra man in midfield, and they do it almost seamlessly and put performances on in both systems. So the key to it, as you rightly said there, it's when you're involved in the heat of battle, making changes that are going to get you over the line. But I think last summer, I'd certainly come away from the stadium, even though we were defeated on penalties eventually, really proud of what the team have achieved over 2 years, a semi-final and then a final, and hopefully that will bode well for us at the end of this year.
Sure, just a quickie to West Ham now. You'd be disappointed with the game at Tottenham. Tottenham played very well, but obviously the Thursday night must come into that. The effort, the emotions of Thursday night, that great victory in Europe. Can you still make top 4? People here have laughed at me. I'm saying you can because a lot of football to play. Do you still believe you can make top 4?
I think it'll be a tough ask if I'm being honest.
Oh, no, sure.
I've been wrong many times. To be honest with you, with what we've got in our group and the honesty of our group, they're an unbelievable, and I know a lot of people say that about their own teams. I've been in a lot of dressing rooms, and this group of players are unbelievable, honestly. They deliver when you think, and they punch above their weight week in, week out. They're fantastic to work with, and we've got a tough running. We've got Man City, we've got Chelsea, we've got Arsenal, we've got a tough running. But
so it's Europe here we come.
Well, we're going in all directions. It's like Dad's Army, the start where those arrows go everywhere, fella. It's like that we're going to be. But listen, we've got 8 league games left. We've got a European campaign, a 2-legged game against Lyon as well. So we're in the mix for everything, and that's all you can ask at the moment at West Ham. And listen, if you were at the stadium last Thursday against Seville, the place was absolutely rocking. And listen, we were only undone probably by the brilliance of Kane and Son, I've got to say, at the weekend.
Stewie, nice one. Thank you.
Thanks, Stu.
You've not given me a lot of confidence, sure. Thank you.
I think Europa League is the one they've got to look at now. Massive game, Lyon. I'm sure lots of West Ham fans are looking forward to going to.
I know I've got to break,
France.
but Lyon's a beautiful place, and for West Ham fans who are going there, there is more Michelin star restaurants in Lyon than the rest any other city in France. There you go. We'll talk about Jermaine Defoe next after the Premier League legend officially hung out with his boots yesterday.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.